Okay, welcome back guys. So today I'm bringing you some more clues in regards to who the new killer could be on Dead by Daylight. Just before we go on guys, if you do like what you see, check out my channel. If you press that subscribe button, press the notification bell, and I'll keep you updated when I release any more videos. Okay, so we're going to first look at Dracula. Now, Dracula was, if you've watched the previous videos, the very first video I said, I think it might be Dracula and Van Helsing as the new killer for the new chapter and the survivor. Basically, there was a few clues that point that way. The link for the video is up above if you want to go watch it again. But there's been another clue released on Dave Richards' Twitter. So basically, this guy is the creative director at Dead by Daylight. So initially, in my first video, I'd put on that there was a few clues put on, vampire hunting kits, things like that. And then this was put on May the 14th, retweet about a Dracula parrot. Now, in actual fact, what this has done has made me think that this is probably not going to be Dracula. For the same reason I mentioned about the Candyman. I think it's too obvious. So, you know, developers, yes, they might be given clues, but I don't think they're going to drop such big clues as they've been doing. So unfortunately in this instance, I do have to say I'm ruling Dracula out of the equation. Obviously, reading the comments and what people put on, the main thing that was brought up by a lot of people was Dracula's not a licensed character. Now obviously they can get a licensed character, a licensed version of Dracula, but I was thinking about it and thinking, does it make sense in regards to paying money for someone else's creation when it can just create their own for it? So I think on this occasion I am ruling Dracula out, but it's an interesting clue either way. So moving on, next one is the Candyman. Now the actor from Candyman, Tony Todd, tweeted that he was going off to do a voiceover. Now this was a second tweet about it. There was also a tweet about him doing voiceovers at home, and I know the Leaks by Daylight website, Twitter, they've got the money pinned on Candyman. You know, they've tweeted so much stuff about it. That got me a bit excited in regards to, is it the voiceover for the character? And you can see some of the headlines I've put on there. Now, looking at his tweet, he has put another voiceover schedule today. Have the best Friday possible. Someone has asked him straight out, is it for a game or for something else? And he's just replied and said a film. Now, again, if you've been following my videos, I do think Candyman is a strong possibility. I don't think it's for this chapter though. If he's doing voiceovers for the game, is it for the next chapter? So, like I've said all along, I think the clues have been too obvious for Candyman. I mean, that tweet about there being the candy, yeah, I don't think it's Candyman whatsoever. So moving on, now this was sent in from a viewer. So Cavin Holder, he literally wrote a comment on there and said that he had some information and some soundtrack that he thought was quite interesting, and his favourite for it is the NUN. Now, I hadn't even contemplated the NUN before this. Now, looking into it, there is maybe a few clues. Now, The King and Earth to Lydia made a video and they released a soundtrack, like a sound effect from the game that they haven't come across before. Now, I'm taking all this with a pinch of salt, because if you do watch a King's video, he does say on there, you know, they've tried this before and it's turned out to be the wrong leads basically. But they came up with a sound and it's called Charge. Now, this wasn't found in the files before, it's been found now. So I'm going to just play the sounds for you, and I'm also going to have a clip from The Conjuring 2. So see what you guys think.
Who's that?
Now, a few people have mentioned about the Nun in my comments. Some people have mentioned about the Nun not being iconic, things like that, but just to put it in perspective, the Conjuring franchise is the highest grossing horror franchise in history. So, and I do believe that the Nun is a very iconic character. Does she fit in? Has she made a mark in horror? I keep calling her the Nun. I know people are going to say it's VALAK. Yep. VALAK, has he made a mark in the world of horror since his inception? I would say he has, because I think the Conjuring series is, really, really popular. Everybody knows who the Nun is. So that was quite interesting. Thanks for Cavin for sending that in. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, as I said I was going to do the other day, I am going to look at and react to some of the comments that have been made so far. So we released the videos with 3 huge clues, and I've put in some of the comments that we've received from viewers, and I'm just going to give a little answer to them. So, like I said at the beginning, guys, there's no stupid comment. It is all about opinions. So, the first one was a couple of opinions about the Candyman. Now, Shadow Serpent said he's up for anyone as long as not a Candyman. He's the least scariest horror icon. Even Scream is scarier. Now, I found something out in regards to the Candyman. Now, this is going through forums, looking at Twitter. There is a big difference in people's opinions on Candyman, and it seems to be dependent on where you're at. In America, there's no doubt that a lot of Americans see the Candyman as quite an iconic horror character. In the UK as such, not as much. Now, I do remember when the Candyman first came out, and I did actually enjoy the film, so I thought, yeah, I can see he's a big horror character. I know there was 2 sequels after, probably not as good as the original, but there is a remake coming out soon. I believe that's September, that's due out. So I do think, I know it drives people's patience and people are very passionate about this, but I think that's where the difference of opinions come from. If you compare the UK market to the US market, I think you'll find that a lot of the UK people don't find the Candyman as iconic as our friends across the pond, let's say. Right, and the next character that was brought up quite a bit was in regards to Pyramid Head. So I really hope Pyramid Head is from Silent Hill is in there. Little Red has mentioned about Dracula, a werewolf as well. Mentioned about Jason because we've already got the Trapper. King Cocoon, I hope I've said that right. I do apologise if I haven't said people's names right. If it's Dracula, that'd be a huge disappointment. Now, further on discussion, you see I've replied to these people. He was saying he thinks it might be Pyramid Head, or wants it to be Pyramid Head. So, looking at Pyramid Head, now, I don't think he's quite as iconic as what a lot of people think. A little confession of mine was, until 2-3 nights ago, I hadn't seen Silent Hill. I haven't played the games either. I just knew the character. Yes, I know I can see this going to be happening in the comments below. But yeah, I just never really got into the game, never got into the film itself. So I watched it for the first time in anticipation that, yes, could this be the next kill? Let's watch it, see what it's all about. I didn't think he had that big of a part in the movie, to be honest. I think it was very scary. He was obviously quite a dominant character when he was on, but if I remember rightly, he didn't have that much screen time on there. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people are going down the route of behaviour, having specifically said the character has marked horror in films. They've just said horror in general, so that opens it up to books, video games, films, and I can see why Pyramid Head's being mentioned there. Next character was, of course, Jason. So some of the comments on there. Starlight did mention about dates. So they mentioned about the dates that Friday the 13th came out. So, and there is a video, and I'm going to link the video down in the comments below, actually, that Starlight sent me in regards to, I can't remember the name of the people who made the video, but they were talking about the lawsuit. Now, it's a bit hard because we've got the lawyer, attorney lawyer who has said you can't, they won't be able to make a deal, but then you've got other people that are saying you can. Now, for me, I would probably gear towards what a lawyer's saying, but the video is really interesting, definitely well worth watching. As I say, I'll put it in the comment and have a watch, see what you think. But what they were saying is pretty much Jason can be used. Now, Daniel Rocha has also put on that when I mentioned about the Pennywise painting, that the red paint and trap mask could also be a sign of Jason. Now, I didn't say that at first, but yes, Jason does have red marks on his mask, so it could be a reference to that. Again, Jason is seeming to be a popular choice with people who played Dead by Daylight, and maybe we'll see him coming in soon. The dates were really interesting because the date, you've obviously got the PTB, that is going to be 3 years from when the game was released. The Friday the 13th game, the exact day. Then you've got a date that'll be released outside of the public test build, and that coincides with the release of the board game, Friday the 13th board game, I believe. But more information's on the video. It is an external video, so I'll put it on there if you want to check it out. And next up we have Pennywise. I did put on the comments, I think that Pennywise for me is possibly one of the favourites now. So Sean Barnes wrote, great video, so thank you very much for that, Sean. I really appreciate that comment. Dracula he thinks a bit far-fetched, and the painting was from quite a while ago from what he understands, like from last summer, but I thought the painting was Pennywise as well, with the red line under the eyes. I think the face on the cover does perfectly line up with Candyman, but that could be our eyes playing tricks. So again, if you don't know what we're talking about, I'll link the video that was mentioned on there. Pan Piggy, sorry, but in my opinion it's not Pennywise. There's no clues it could be Pennywise if I think that. Is it horror from Inception? Hell no. Is he iconic? Hell no. So, and Mr. L mentions either Candyman or Pennywise. As much as he would love the Xenomorph, I find that possibility highly unlikely. Now, looking at those comments, yeah, I mean, I thought the clues for the picture, I wouldn't put it on the video if I didn't think it myself. I thought the picture did look like Pennywise to me, especially with the teeth. So I've just put that picture up there for you with the teeth at the bottom as well as the red marks. Is it iconic? I would say so, yeah. I mean, he's popular at the moment because we've had the re-releases. On my first video I was like, oh, it was released 2-3 years ago, but I mean, I forgot about the second one, which was only released last year, so he's still in people's minds. There's been some comments mentioned about powers, what potentially he could do on the games. It was quite exciting, so I think for me, as I say, I'm thinking Pennywise could be one of the favourites now to put on there. There is that emotional attachment. The developers have said previously that they'd like to get Pennywise into the game, so I'm really thinking that Pennywise could be the one. And this was a late one I've just put in, so this was from Ghostface. It was just put on this morning, so no one takes into consideration that it's said a classic franchise, which is why he doesn't think it's going to be Pennywise. So someone else who's thinking Pennywise maybe not the iconic franchise that other people think it is. Again, it'd be interesting to hear different people's opinions on that. For me, it was quite a big thing when I was growing up. Obviously, when I was growing up, it was original TV series that was out that they released, and obviously the books, but I did enjoy the other two as well, the remakes that they brought out. So for me, I think he is an iconic character. Ghostface goes on to mention the doubt is going to be Jason due to legal reasons, and Larry even said from a legal standpoint it wouldn't be possible. So that was so Larry is the lawyer on Twitter that I think Polyester went to check to ask the question in regards to it. So he's went on to mention that Candyman was deconfirmed by Scott. Now Scott's a streamer, and if I remember rightly, I think I seen a video of him saying that did he get a last 4? I might be wrong in that, but supposedly he's in the know. So he has put on the video it's not Candyman. So Ghostface goes on to say he's better on a xenomorph, maybe Predator in collaboration with a new game. Not likely though, just his hopes, but the theory circulating about classic meaning Dracula or werewolf, so maybe that. So yeah, we've spoke about Dracula. We haven't actually mentioned werewolves as yet, but so that's quite a interesting one. I have seen it come up there. People have spoke about it being a classic monster, and as I say, that was the route I was going down when I first said about Dracula. So Alien, could we be seeing Alien in Dead by Daylight? My thoughts on that is I would love that. Like, as I say, if people have watched my previous videos, I'm not in a stance where I'm saying, oh, I hope it's not him, or I really, I'm going to uninstall if it's this killer. I'm not particularly invested in who the killer is. I'm actually quite excited on who the killer may be, and I'm really enjoying trying to guess it. But whoever it is, especially if it's any of the ones that I've named, or the ones that other people have named, it's going to be quite exciting just to have a new killer. And I've said all along, I just hope he's a viable killer, because I am a killer main, so it'd be really good to try him out. Hope are good. Xenomorph, I know people have said about how he would fit into the games. Now I can sort of understand that. So people's argument is he's not going to fit in the game. The counter argument has been, we've got Demogorgon. Would it not be the same as that? I think it's slightly different at Demogorgon. If you had the alien, I think you'd have to be able to walk on ceilings. You'd have to be able to walk on walls. So that's something that I'm dubious as to whether that's created as yet, whether that's available. That could be something that's been going on in the background. I don't know. So how will that work with survivors? How will it work with a map? Will you have a spaceship map? That's the obvious one, the spaceship from the first film. If you do, is it going to be a bit strange having, I don't know, Billy on there, or Leatherface, if you're picking them as your characters on a space map? I don't know, I'm not quite sure how that would work out. I do think it's very exciting if they do bring it in, because again, Alien is an iconic character. Again, argument is it sci-fi, is it horror? I personally believe the first one was horror, was sci-fi and horror. The second one, more action type, wasn't it? So that sort of stayed in a different direction. But the first one, definitely, I would say, came under the horror bracket. Alright, so that's it. So thank you very much for the people that did drop comments in. I really hope I haven't missed anybody. I've tried filtered through some, to go through the ones with the questions and with the thoughts. So if I have missed anybody, I do apologise. But again, same again, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you think, again, we're way off the mark, let me know. Just drop a comment, let me know what you think. As I say, the best thing at this moment in time is that it's really interesting getting people's opinions. But thanks for watching the video, guys. Don't forget, if you do enjoy it, just drop it a like. If you disagree, give it a dislike, and just, as I say, drop a comment, let me know why. Share the video if you feel you can, and just press that subscribe button in the middle if you haven't already done so. Alright, thanks guys.